What's up guys, Z here. I'm doing a build video on Ina's Mantra. And any piece I do not currently have that is best in slot, I will tell you and show you in the video. So right from the top, you can see I have quite a few followers. If you are unfamiliar with Ina's Mantra, it uses all 5 Mystic Allies all at once. Because it uses Mystic Ally with all the runes active. But with the boots, it doubles my followers, so it goes from 5 to 10. So let's just start from the top. You're going to use Ina's Radiance, and you're going to throw in a Royal Flawless Diamond for that cooldown reduction. And you want to focus on Dexterity and critical hit chance if possible. For the shoulders, you actually want Lefebvre. I can never say these right. You need Lefebvre's Soliloquy. Let's just say you need the Cyclone shoulders. And what they do is, I have them in my Kanai's cube right now. So they reduce your damage taken by 50% max roll for 5 seconds. So since you use Cyclone Strike in pretty much most monk roll builds rather, Cyclone Strike brings them all in with Implosion Rune up to 34 yards. So that's like one of the biggest monster grab radiuses in the game. So, I mean, that helps you stay alive. For your amulet, for speed runs, you can use a Hellfire amulet like I have. For progressive, you want to use the Traveler's Pledge and Compass Rose combo for the Endless Walk. This will increase your damage while you are standing still in a mass crowd of enemies, and it will make all your Mystic Allies do more damage, which they are the brunt of your damage in this build. And also it will reduce damage when you're trying to run between mobs, so you're not getting killed if you just have like stragglers hitting you. Now, one of the gems you want to, legendary gems you want to have inside your neck piece is Bane of the Trapped. Again, this is used in almost every build I ever make. Bane of the Trapped produces its own slowdown aura, so any build that's melee or gets close, within 15 yards the enemies are going to start slowing down. Therefore, even if you have no skills that slow down the enemies whatsoever, you're still going to deal bonus damage to them just from the aura that it produces itself. For the torso, you're going to be using Ina's Vast Expanse. Now, there's not a whole lot here to really talk about, so I'm just going to kind of move on. For the wrists, Bindings of the Lesser Gods is one of the best in slot wrists for this build, because you can see it says enemies hit by your Cyclone Strike take 191%. So it's a 150 to 200% roll. Increase damage from your Mystic Allies for 5 seconds. And since you're opening the fight pretty much with a Cyclone Strike to give yourself damage reduction and also damage increase against enemies, it's like always happening. So that is one of the best in slot items, if not the best in slot for this build. For the hands, you're going to be using Ina's Hold. Again, nothing too special. I recommend trying to have critical hit chance and damage on hands. They typically give you the most out of the regular gear. For the waist, you're going to be using Ina's Favor. You want to focus on Dexterity, Vitality, and even you can throw in some life percent, because with this build, your life is actually pretty substantial. Like mine is over 1 million right now, and I have not focused on life in any way beyond just like getting regular rolls of Vitality. So it's a possibility. I mean, I have resistance. If you look at my resistances, they are quite good, because another side effect is you get all your mantras at all times too. For the legs, you're going to be using Ina's Temperance. And again, it's just another piece to get you to the 6 set bonus, so you can have all your allies out kicking ass. For the feet, this is a good piece. I'll tell you what. This is best in slot for the feet for this build, because every ally you have out, you get a copy of it. So like I said, instead of 5 allies, you have 10 allies now. So this effectively doubles the amount of hits that are going on. Now for the rings, what you want to do, I don't have it on this character yet. But like I said, Traveler's Pledge for the amulet, and then Compass Rose for one of your rings. The other one I do have, which is Unity. Unity on your follower mixed with their Invulnerability charm is going to cut your damage in half at all times. So it really boosts up your survivability, considering you're going to be in a big mosh pit of mobs. So that's a very good, pretty much best in slot ring. Now, for your weapon, you are using Ina's Reach. And you don't want it to roll with a socket. You want to use Ramaladni's Gift to throw the socket in to give yourself that crit chance. I have not gotten a Ramaladni's Gift so far this season. Now, real quick, you might be saying, well, why don't you like your 7-sided strike build? It's not that I don't like it. I think it's awesome. It's very kick-ass. It looks cool. The thing is, the math behind it, it almost like stops itself from progressing to a certain point, because the damage is, as I've been told by even some of you guys, it's like really finicky. You know, the procs don't want to proc correctly, area damage doesn't compute properly, yada yada, whatever, bunch of baloney. So I decided I wanted to try something else. I haven't tried a pet build since the Witch Doctor, and I wanted to give it a shot. So as you can see, 6-set bonus, 2-set, you get increase the passive effect of your Mystic Ally and base passive effect of your mantras by 100%, so they're all doubled. You gain all 4 mantras at all times. I don't even have it selected in my skills, and I have them all. And you gain all the mystics, and the damage is increased for me by 50% for every ally I have out. So that's 10 times, so it's 500% increased damage. So let's get into the skills really quick. It's actually really similar to 7-sided strike build, the Uliana's. Wave 100 fists with assimilation. Now, when I get in a big pile of guys, I'm punching everybody, because the more people I affect with my 3rd hit, it'll increase with stacks for more damage. More damage I'm dealing, the more damage my allies are dealing. So that's a shoe-in. Cyclone Strike Implosion, like I've said. Epiphany with Desert Shroud to keep yourself alive. Dashing Strike, Blinding Speed. You don't have to use Blinding Speed. I just like it because it gives me dodge rate. I use it for 2 things. Getting to the next set of mobs, or running away from the current set of mobs if I'm getting trashed. Mystic Ally, you want to have active simply so you can just hit that button and all of their abilities get activated at the same time. So it's kind of like blowing your cooldowns in other games. Like, that's your big kill everything button. Inner Sanctuary with Temple Protection. This is different from the other build. Create a runic circle protection on the ground for 6 seconds that reduces all damage taken by 55% for me and everybody else inside of it. And also, we are immune to control impairing effects. So therefore, we're just going to do our thing. We take very little damage. With all these damage reductions, I definitely don't die very much. I have my Cheat Death on. I have Beacon of Yatar for reducing my cooldowns. And I have Unity on this time because I'm using mantras. For each ally affected by my mantras, increase my damage by 5%, up to a maximum of 20, and it has 5% increased damage. So my guys are getting buffed by 5%, and I'm getting buffed by 20%, which in turn is also buffing them, because there's 10 allies. So, I only need 4 to hit the max. So I'm like way above and clear on hitting the max on the Unity. And Determination is not the one that typically the builds use, but I like it because everybody's close to me when I pull them in with the implosion. So I'm gonna get a 20% increase in damage right away. So to me, I went with that. So when it comes to the rest of the legendary gems, I already told you about Bane of the Trap. There's a little bit of leeway. So you can do either the pet build, Exploding Palm build, or the speedrunning build. I'm doing the pet build right now. So everything I'm talking about is in relation to the pet build itself. So you want Bane of the Trapped, and you're going to want Enforcer, which I do not have on right now. And you can use Pain Enhancer. And what Pain Enhancer does is this. Critical hits cause the enemy to bleed for 2,500% weapon damage at rank 0 as physical over 3 seconds. And for the 25 rank, gain Blood Frenzy, granting you 3% increased attack speed for each bleeding enemy within 20 yards. So this will help me buff my speed when I'm doing my 3 hits on the 100 Fists. I mean, that's pretty good. You don't have to use that one if you don't want to. You can use Bane of the Stricken, which I probably will end up using, which is what I've used in a lot of my builds, and it's like it builds up damage like a snowball on top of people, and also gives that passive. I gain 25% increased attack against bosses and Rift Guardians. That's probably what I'm going to throw in. If you're having trouble dying, you can always use Esoteric Alteration. This will reduce the damage you take from all the elements, which can really help you stay alive. And while below 50% life, your resistances are increased by 75%. It really blocks you from getting trashed by all the elemental damage in a Rift. So let's talk Kunai's Cube. So I didn't go with the typical build with this one because I feel like this does more damage for me, but I'm using the Furnace, and that increases damage against elites by 50%. You can, however, use the Flying Dragon like I did in Uliana's, and that will give you a chance to double your attack speed when attacking. I'm not really focused on so much attack speed because I feel like it's more damage, and I could be completely wrong, and I'm apologizing if I am, but I feel like the Furnace is going to help me more on the enemies with large health pools for my minions as of right now, because I don't deal a lot of damage. Maybe when I get to higher damage output, Flying Dragon will be my go-to. So you can use the Furnace, you can use Flying Dragon, you can use whatever you like. It calls for Flying Dragon typically in this build, but I'm using the Furnace like I said. And I don't have the shoulders for a Cyclone Strike anymore because when I only got one of them so far this season, and I broke it down in here for Uliana's build, and I broke it down for the 7-sided strike build already. So I didn't get another one yet. When I do get another one, my shoulders will go up there, and down here I'm going to put Spirit Guards, which I will show a little clip of what that looks like. And then for the jewelry, you can use Unity or Convention of Elements, one or the other. It's kind of like whatever ring rolls better for you, or if one's an ancient, one's not, whatever. It's kind of pick and choose. So that's Kunai's Cube. Now, I'll let you see the minions fight by themselves, just to show you like how it is with them just fighting. It's pretty autonomous. It kind of brings you back to the Witch Doctor Health Tooth build. Albeit it's more of like an even style because your Mystic allies are pretty much even across the board on like damage output, as opposed to the dogs being really weak and the Gargantuans being massively strong. So what you should be doing is I should be going between mobs with Epiphany popped as often as possible, and I go and I gather as dense a pile of guys as I can. And then I throw down Inner Sanctuary and pop my Mystics abilities, and they basically just start wrecking face while I'm doing my 100 Fist Punch shit. And you can see, I mean, they're not where they need to be because I'm not fully geared out for this, but they're doing not bad. Definitely weaker than I was set up for Uliana's, and we can do it again. And you see how they just kind of melt through everybody. I know that I'm only on Torment 9 with these guys. I can do Torment 10 and, you know, even beyond, but it just takes longer, and I didn't really want it to be like super boring, like, wow, that's amazing, Z, it takes you 10 minutes to kill everybody. So bear with me. It's a fresh build. I just wanted to try it out, but I hit my Mystic ability and they start fucking trashing everything. It is a viable build. Now, where I rank it personally, I would say Uliana's would be on the bottom as far as like its end game potential. This would be slightly above that, I think, as long as you're geared correctly. And I think that Shenlong Raiment Spirit Generator, that's number one. That build from last season was phenomenal. I loved it. It's just really intense. You have to pay attention with that build.
I need to go back.
So that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, drop a comment. Try the build out for yourself if you haven't already. It's pretty interesting. It's a different playstyle for the monk, which is usually very, like, you know, you have to be paying attention at all times. You do have to pay attention, but it's not quite as intense as the Shenlong Raiment build. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video. Later.